Hey everybody, I'm back. Sorry I haven't really been making content as much or as accurate as I can make it. But I tried making some videos. I actually got a couple of 2009 style ones where I didn't really have any audio in it. Probably could have had music, but I don't really know how to put music in like iMovie. I've been getting a little better at it, which is pretty good. I did a re-upload, probably should have called it a re-upload. It's by like Liquid Richard. But I'm gonna get to my point. I'm basically, you know how I usually do prospect. I usually think that this video doesn't immediately start you clicking nothing and then you see my face and then its name later. It's obviously I name it and then I basically pretend that it's already there. But as you've seen from the title, as I roleplayed as, I'm gonna take my time here. You know what it is. It's basically, do the season, like Cold War season weapons even reflect on each other, and someone's playing music in the truck. Sorry it's a little late. I just came up with this idea when I was playing Cold War. Just letting you know, this is recorded before the update on Xbox where the Kiparis would come out. I may it's going to come later, but that's just for knowing. Other than that, we're going to go from season 1, 2, 3, and 4 and see how they even compete to each other. Since I think after season 2, actually during like halfway through season 2, it basically felt like they just swapped hands. Like they got like the DLC for Cold War and they gave it to another guy, and that's what he's building it off of. Since the detachments the extended mags also changed. But yeah, we noticed that season 1 has the least amount of actual weapons, while season 3 has the most. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk about season 1 real quick. At the time, we got. Actually, I think if this video gets 10 likes, I'll just make a season weapon DLC weapon to compare to normal weapons. Yeah, so the Groza is in season 1. The Groza is a rifle. The Mag-10's an SMG. The Striker was the shotgun. The Striker was the only one that was a mid-season weapon. This was at first. It basically went over the fact that this stuff was based on Season 1 was like really based on Modern Warfare, since it had 2 weapons at launch and 1 mid-season, except for the 2 melee weapons. But for the rules, we will not be including melee weapons, no DLC launchers since there isn't any. And we will be including special weapons, which I actually rarely do. So other than that, the Groza was pretty strong at the time, the Mag-10 was pretty strong, and the Striker was pretty strong. At the time, they were basically the 3 strongest weapons in the game. The Groza was basically better AK, less recoil, good iron sights, somewhat. And yeah, I had a really good time to kill. Then the Mag-10 basically was the fastest SMG. This thing really beat out everything. And the Striker was the only automatic shotgun. It was actually the only shotgun that everybody was getting into. People still use it, but it's not as good as it was beforehand, as I was thinking about. Since I'm like, well, now in Season 4, the Striker has a bunch of competition. And I'll get that. So Season 2, this was the most lackluster season since there's only a rifle SMG, a sniper, and a special. I don't care about snipers that much unless they're actually done right. So for Season 2, to compare these two, the FAR 83 basically was a better version of the Krig 6, making it basically this game's ACR. I think this paper is already moist because it's like really like, how do I say it, like, I don't know, just say it's really southern here because I really can't think of the weather's name. Like mossy. So the 483, this one actually beat out the Groza except for iron sights because those were complete crap. But you can actually, if you didn't change the barrel, then the sight's perfect when you have a red dot on it. It had basically no recoil, a lot of damage, and pretty good magazine capacity. The LC-10 actually was the Mag-10's opposite. It did a lot of damage, but shot pretty slow. Not as slow as the Milano. But yeah, it was pretty much top tier. It went up to 55, which was more than the Mag-10. And then you got the 0G20mm, which was basically dead in the water because at the time when it released, no one wanted it anymore. We're like, well, we've been waiting for this thing for weeks, and it just finally came, and it's garbage. Because for some reason they put the bolt on the left and not the right, how it is in real life. I don't want to look up its real name since I really don't like this gun. I would actually be fine if they switched it, increased its RPM, and just made it better. But yeah, then there's the crossbow, which at the time was also crap. We got that one, I think, after the ZRG. Or maybe beforehand. We shot, it was a one-shot kill, but it was just a really crappy gun. Only had 4 attachments, people were just disappointed. Yeah, it was basically Season 2 disappointment. But compared with the other seasons, the Striker, Mag-10, and Groza, mixed with the 483 and LC10. I'm pretty sure Season 1 beat Season 2. But then Season 3 came around, and here is where the Strikers competition finally came through. The PPSH 41. This one was also the MAC 10's competition. Basically, back off. Dang Firefly. Yeah, the PPSH 41 basically was a whole curveball because I literally just thought it was going to be Cold War guns, but someone just right around the edge, and now we got a pretty good gun. Beforehand, I hated the PPSH because World War II made it way too strong, and I'm like, you know what, I hate this gun now. If it ever exists in a Call of Duty game, I'm not using it. But after I got it, and after what people said, and I got hyped, I'm like, you know what, this is actually a pretty good gun. The ammo capacities are a little off. I would probably fix that if I was them. But other than that, it basically is a competition for the Striker because it kills faster than the Striker up close, and at that point, the Striker actually got one kill like range removed, since now the lowest you can get is 2 shot, and the highest probably like 5 or 20. But yeah, PPSH shot faster. It killed a lot faster. It hit harder. I'm about to punch this thing. Get away from me. It's summer, so the cicadas are gone. The glow bugs are here. They're not as gross or scary, but they just really gross and annoying. They got like glowing butts. And other than that, here's a mid-season rifle, technically. The G11. This one was actually a really good gun. I actually was looking at it, and I was kind of thinking, this is going to have 36 rounds in it. It's just shoot faster, be a 2-burst kill. Nope, it's actually a 1-burst kill at the time. It had meh iron sights. It wasn't really the best. It was like a mix between like the M16 and a single pillar. Yeah, but it actually had 45 rounds, which surprised me. It goes up to 75, which is just like abnormal to hear in a Call of Duty game. So the G11 was basically busted, and it basically beat the AUG and the M16 at their own game. And yeah, I got a new Ushanka, just letting you know. I got like 2 new ones like in the past week. I feel pretty happy about it. And yeah, then there's the Swiss K31. This sniper, everybody hyped this one up. I literally just used it once and get away from me. Thing gross. And it was really just crap. It's like terrible. It's got 6 rounds, which was pretty good for a sniper, but it shoots fast, and it does not have a fast ADS. They literally pumped it up saying it did, but I'm like, no, it doesn't. We were kind of thinking this would be the intervention, like a pull bow variant, and it just sucks. It is the opposite of the 0G 20mm, but I actually used all 5 snipers when I unlocked them in like a private match. And like, yeah, the snipers only mosh pit. The 0G is the one that just beats the crap out of people because the freaking Swiss is terrible. And then for the pistol, we got the PM63, just letting you know, most of these categories only got 1 DLC weapon, I guess just like BO4. Because in that game, there was only 1 DLC pistol, 1 DLC LMG, and yeah, that was it. In this game, there's only one DLC tac rifle, 1 DLC pistol, 1 DLC LMG, and 1 DLC shotgun. It's a flop I'll accept. I hope there is a year or 2. I'm about to punch that thing in the face. And then the final thing, the ballistic knife. This actually was proper competition. I forgot that word for a second. For the crossbow, since basically the crossbow and the ballistic knife would come back in every single Treyarch game somewhat. And the difference is, after Black Ops 2, it just became DLC every freaking time. I'm just kind of wondering, why isn't it in the base game now? But yeah, the crossbow and the ballistic knife basically were competition to each other. They both can't actually compete to the M79 because that one reloads nearly just as fast and actually has explosive damage, since they basically were both projectiles that didn't explode. You had to be accurate with it. It's like Black Ops 2 except worse. Because, can you get off me? I hate these freaking mosquitoes. These are my legs. I wish I wore pants out here. Maybe I should record inside. It's nighttime. I'll probably I'll go inside in a bit since it is really dark. Not exactly. You can tell by the reflection of my window, it's not actually that dark. I think when it's like pitch black, I'll run back inside. The bugs get aggressive at nighttime when it's summer. That's basically where pesticides come from. But other than that, let's compare season 1, 2, and 3 together. I'm going to take my time about this because I actually like this idea. Usually I feel like I'm kind of rushing stuff a bit and I have to just get stuff together, and yeah. It just feels different. But other than that, we go compare them. We got the SMGs, which basically, you got the MAC 10, which then had to compete with the LC10 and the PPSH, since the LC10 actually started falling out of favor and people started using it less. PPSH and MAC 10 were basically a hard competition, and the Striker also competed, but it was going. The Striker just wasn't as good as it was in season 1. Snipers basically had competition, but not as much because people don't use snipers in multiplayer because you just get freaking killed a lot. The PM63 actually did compete with all the pistols, but it didn't really win. It was more the Diamatti that's the one because Treyarch even knows it won. Doesn't gun get this thing is going all over my legs. And yeah. Other than that, the G11 basically just became king that quickly because all the other tactical rifles really couldn't compete. They were all 3-round bursts, but they couldn't go up to 75, and they didn't start at 45. It was like 30 to 20 or 25 in mid. But yeah, the Groza still competed with the 483 because at this point there was no rifle. All the SMGs competed with each other except for the LC-10. That was falling out of favor. Striker was falling out of favor. The snipers didn't matter. The G11 was basically king. The pistol doesn't really work on its own that much, and the specials, who cares? But other than that, we go to Season 4, and these things are really annoying me, and they're getting all over my legs. I'm going to go inside now. Ugh. That thing away from me. You're fine. Oh, this didn't really reveal too much of where I live. Ow. Boy, get out of the way. Yeah, I've got the boy here. Oh my, someone's actually using the bath. Oh crap, I gotta hurry and turn the lights on and people would be like clicking off this video. Yeah, so we got, other than that, let's put this right here. Hey boy, you wanna come over here? Piece of garbage. Okay, the camera's still going. I hope it is. Yep, but a little too high. Yep. Man, it's biting on my freaking ankles, dude. It's itchy. I don't know how mosquitoes are. But yes, then we'll finally go to Season 4. Only 3 is going to join the game. The Kiparis actually is going to come tonight. So other than that, we got the G3 white rifle. I was really hyped for this one, but this one ended up sucking. Actually, I'm going to try angling it so it looks like me laying down. I look like I'm in the therapist's office. How may I do for you, Mr. Krabs? My hands. Why don't I record more like this? Boy, get up here. Hey, what you doing? Dang it, I can't grab from this angle. In a minute, if I can let him, I can see if you can hear. Come on, dude. Got you. Eat the boy. Come on, boy. Look at him. He's a good boy. Smells good too. Don't take my hat. Don't take my hat. Yeah, you're the boy. See? The boy. I just like smelling them because unlike our dogs, yeah, she smells good. Yeah, but back to what I was saying. And then there's the Kiparis SMG. I only know a little bit about it. The Amelie LMG. Don't smack it down. And then the nail gun. Yeah, I'm gonna freaking do something. I'm keeping an eye on him because he's gonna freaking knock it over. Okay, you're fine. Hey! Mickey's clawing the couch. Can you claw your own hairline instead, bud? Okay, back to the video again. I see him right there, so I'm pretty fine. So then you got the rifles. You got the G3. Let's compare them already, because this game's really confusing. So basically, the G3 did the opposite of what the normal DLC rifles did. Basically, being better version of DLC rifles. Can you stop, yo? You really need to stop. since the Groza is basically a better AK and the FAR 83 is basically a better Krig 6, I was kind of wondering, why is the G3 basically a worse version of the AK? I think it's supposed to be a QBZ 83 clone, but it really failed badly. It starts with 20 rounds, which is a monstrosity. I was kind of hoping the MAS 55 would be in there. That'd be awesome. Because you can just make that the Scar of Cold War, because that thing can have 20 rounds and I'd be fine with it. It can actually do, I hope it does like 45 to 50 damage. That'd be amazing. But other than that, let's compete. Let's go compete with these things. So the Groza FAR 83 just blow the G3 out of the water, even though the G3 has a 60 round mag that gets rid of 8% of its damage, which is even stupider. I was kind of thinking, wow, this thing's actually going to beat them, because I was kind of being a little confident because I actually love the G3. I do have a soft spot for it. Since I saw it on Modern Warfare 1, and I started looking at more games, and I saw some mods on Fallout 4 that had the G3, I just ended up getting closer to it. It's a really beautiful rifle, honestly. But other than that, yeah, it just doesn't compete. It's literally terrible. Ugh, my head freaking burns. I took a shower like a day ago. I'm gonna take a shower like maybe today. Probably in the middle of the night, honestly, because I really need to just freshen up a bit. We'll try asking my dad like if I shower Tuesday or not. But other than that, let's go with the Kiparis. This one might not actually compete with the other SMGs because it only goes up to 40, which all the other SMGs actually must. All DLC SMGs basically go to 43 or 45 or 71. Yeah, the PPSA is basically going to just wreck it. But the Kiparis does have one plus out of every season. It seems to have godly iron sights, which is the weirdest thing ever, because in Season 1, every single gun had great iron sights, because the Groza had usable iron sights, the MAC-10 had fantastic iron sights, and the Striker, even a shotgun, has great iron sights. You don't even need a reticle on, not a reticle, freaking reflex on it. And then Season 2, they basically went, but like halfway. The CRG 20mm had terrible iron sights when you actually put on iron sights because they're way too far back. The Warzone thing actually made it better. Probably stuttered a bit. LC-10 has good iron sights. The FAR 83 has crap iron sights. The crossbow, we don't need to talk about that a little bit. It's got good iron sights at least. And then in Season 3, the PPSH had decent iron sights, which is actually pretty good. G11 had it had somewhat usable iron sights. They weren't the best, of course. Then you got the Swiss K31, which its iron sights were just straight up like, it's straight up like terrible. I thought they'd actually nail it, but they didn't. It's just too blurry, and it literally looks like both sights fused. The PM63's got good iron sights. Ballistic Knife don't have iron sights. And then we go to the travesty that's called Season 4. The G3 has like horrible iron sights. They're basically an eyesore every time you use it. I always wanted it to look more like Warzone because they actually do a good job with it. The Kiparis has godly iron sights, like even Treyarch knows how good they are. It's kind of weird. The Amelie has terrible iron sights, and the nail gun just has a prong. One prong over a loop. Other than that, I'm kind of wishing that... Actually, the weirdest thing I even noticed was literally today's patch update, or basically Wednesday's patch update. That's a little different because they decided, hey, let's fix the iron sights, but which ones? We got the X4, the Krig 6, the Type 95, and the FAMAS. They all have somewhat... It's a mixed bag, honestly. The Krig 6 has odd iron sights. They're usable, but they're really odd. The XM4's iron sights are fine. I actually grew onto them. And the Type 95 and FAMAS's are just straight up deplorable. Because I'm wondering, even after they fixed it, the XM4 looks amazing. The Krig 6, I barely noticed. The FAMAS, at least it fits the ring. I just wish they rebuilt them from scratch. Like, if you can actually share with the Type 95, their main problem is, like, here's the hind sight, like the back sight. Okay, let's try doing something. I can't really do it with my hands. Yeah, here's his hind sight. A minute. Yeah, say this is his back sight. And the little prong up there is just sticking above it. It just needs to go down where it's level with the rest of the sights. That's the main problem. This foresight is literally higher than its back sights. Now, straight the back sights are like this. You just get it like this, and it looks fantastic. But other than that, the FAMAS is straight deplorable, but I get it since some guns really need a reflex. Because back in the day, the iron sights were actually pretty good. But, Oh yeah, the nail gun. I forgot about that one. That one straight just does compete with them. Since it is different, it is the only special weapon that has more than one round, which is 15. But I think that one's just a mistake because it could win with 20, the 30, and 40, and if they actually had extended max and reflex sights. That'd been great just to have like 4 attachments for, just like the crossbow. To have 2 sights and 2 magazines. That wouldn't have killed them. But other than that, the nail gun is just up there above the special since 2 of them basically don't explode. 1 does explode. And this one just basically is automatic. It has a bunch of rounds. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and just keep up with the content.